Evening. I'm not even disappointed, me really, to be honest. I thought we we did all right to get a point. I think I said pre-match and on the podcast yesterday, and I happily took a point tonight, and a point is what we come away with. So I got to at least be happy we're a point off City, we're 2 points off Liverpool with a game in hand, us and City. So both of us can still finish inside the top four. It's still in our hands. We win that game in hand, we go above Liverpool, and then it's just a case of outpointing them to the end of the season. Still massively in our hands. But tonight's performance was poor, and I did say a couple of days ago that I wasn't really going to be bothered. If we had poor performances, I'm not asked. Tonight, this last 10 games or so is literally just about the results for us. We get the result, we move on to the next game. But it was such a poor result. I thought for the first half an hour, United really put it on City and actually looked to counter-attack them and looked to find space in the channels and really put some balls into there. But after the half an hour mark, City sort of started getting a foothold in the game. They really started to dominate that possession from the middle of the park. They really started to look threatening. And then at half-time, once we came out, I don't know if it was orders from City or orders from United that had restricted us, but we just did not look good from the start of the second half onwards. We looked frightened. We looked restrictive. We was absolutely being walked through in the middle of the park, and that's disappointing. I think today really highlighted how much we missed Paul Pogba. I think it really highlighted how much we maybe don't appreciate some of the stuff he does. I mean, I know what he does, and I'm happy with his contribution this season. But it seems like a lot of people overly reliant on goal and assist stats. That's not the end of everything, man. If you look at everything else in terms of what's a midfielder's job, it's to provide the ball into the attackers and help protect the defence. And would Paul Pogba have done that tonight? Yes, absolutely. Would he have done it better than maybe Carrick or Fellaini did? Yes, absolutely. And I think that's what you can say Paul Pogba offers to us. He offers his height, he offers his strength, he offers his athletic ability, but he also offers his creativity and cockiness and an attitude in that middle of the park where he's not going to turn up and be a meek little opposition for anybody. It's fucking Paul Pogba, world's most expensive footballer. He turns up and he does what he does, and he does it unapologetically, and sometimes it's not come off and sometimes he's not really managed to get into games. But there would have been 2 or 3 occasions, I think, tonight where he would have put a ball in behind Otamendi or in behind Company for Rashford to run onto, and I think something might have come out of that. But it's not to be because he's injured. Tim Fosu-Mensah's picked up an injury, and I was thinking maybe now with Fellaini being out, Fosu-Mensah's going to get a shout. Oh shit, no, he's injured. Matty Willett might have just been promoted to the first team. Madness. When you consider that we've allowed Schneiderlin and Schweinsteiger to leave the club, and then Jose says he's got no midfielders. I have to say to Jose, that's poor man management on your part there. Like I said, if this comes across as negative and depressed, it's not. I mean, it was a bad game of football to watch from a United fan perspective, so I can't really come here and be buzzing about getting a point. And you know, I never want to see United not win. I'm just realistic sometimes and think that we're not gonna get a point. City were good. You know, I'm not wearing a hat, but I'll take it off to them tonight. They were good, and they've just received what we received against the likes of Arsenal and Stoke and Burnley and countless other teams at Old Trafford this season where they would have deserved the 3 points, and you know, they're coming away miffed. How did we not win that game? And yeah, how many times have United been there this season? It happens. So we've nabbed a draw. They was unlucky not to win it. That's football. But I said, ultimately I take a point. I absolutely take a point from there. It means we didn't lose any ground on City, which is the important thing. It still keeps it in our hands in terms of a Champions League qualification through the league. I think even, well, a loss would have meant that we could equal what Liverpool have done, but not get over them unless goal difference. So it still keeps it in our hands, keeping a point there, respectable point. Mkhitaryan thought was quiet tonight. Marshall didn't really kick into the game. That might have just been the way we played. Carrick, one of his worst games, I think. No, maybe not his worst, but it was a pretty poor game from him. I thought Bailly was fantastic. Dave pulled out a couple of good saves. But ultimately, it was a pretty meek performance from United. Now we look at Swansea and you go, Who's going to be back? Well, Rojo and Zlatan ain't going to be back, so park that one. Sounds like Fosu Mensah's not going to be back. Now what? Are we down to bring Tuan Zebe into defence, move Daley Blind up, bring Matty Willock in, play Rooney in midfield? I guess there's a couple of options, isn't there? But now you're sorting a really patched outside going into a really crucial point of the season where you could realistically say we can't lose, and we can maybe draw 2 or 3 games in both competitions. You know, if we win one and draw one in Europa, we're through, aren't we? So I think you're looking at maybe 3 draws tops and no losses to the end of the season to make this all happen. That's going to be hard work with a patched up team. Rojo's a blow. I don't think Zlatan would have made a huge difference tonight, actually, because I thought we would have played the way we played, whether he was in the side or not, and I think it was probably the best option was to go with the pace of Rashford. I thought he was our best outlet. Embarrassed Otamendi a couple of times. But again, ultimately, we have a point to show for it, and we have to move on and look at the next game. The games are coming literally thick and fast at the moment. We don't really have time to sit back and analyse what's just happened. We just have to go, right, whatever, go again. And go again we will on Sunday, Swansea. It's going to be a random-looking United side. I would definitely expect to see Wayne Rooney play in what I think will be literally his last handful of matches for Manchester United. And we go and try and get 3 points, and that's about that. Man of the match, Ander Herrera or Bailly. I think Ander Herrera probably just edges it. I thought he had a decent performance and a lot of work to do tonight, and I thought he handled it well. And I thought he's shown a lot of fight and desire that I think lacked a little bit. He couldn't do it on his own in that midfield. And without getting too deep into what happened with Fellaini and Aguero, I do blame Fellaini because it was a 100% dive from Aguero on both instances. On the instance where he hits the deck and the instance where he gets him sent off, it was a dive on both occasions. But I do also blame Fellaini because he allowed himself to be dragged into that shit and give the referee decisions to make. I actually think Aguero went into him harder than Fellaini went into Aguero, but he gave him a decision to make. It was idiotic. It was idiotic from Fellaini. I'm not going to say fucking sack him, getting out of the fucking club, this, that and the other. I think he does have his useful marks, but he shouldn't be starting every single week for Manchester United like he is at the moment. I think we've got to look to improve that in the summer. Anyway, give us your thoughts on that below. Yeah. Let's hope we can beat Swansea. Right, that's me, out of here. Get your comments in below. Who was your man of the match? What do you think about the Fellaini incident and Aguero? How good was Eric Bailly? Are we getting top 4? Let me know in the comments. See you in a bit.